Alistair, things are obviously very bad there now. We've seen the stories of looting. We've heard the reports of looting. What can we expect over the next few days?
Well, I think we can expect the scale of the disaster to become ever clearer as rescue teams begin to reach these isolated areas, and we're going to expect the death toll to rise. Obviously, it's 1,200 and rising, and it could go into the thousands. There are going to be more distressing human stories. Lots of people have been out looking for friends and relatives who are missing. Some of them have been found, but I think in lots of cases they're not going to find that people are still alive. And we see that mass graves are being dug in that area. We're going to get an assessment, I think, more and more of the needs of survivors, as Janice has been saying. The Red Cross says that overall perhaps 1.5 million people are affected. Palu, the main city, is absolutely flattened, as we've seen. The airport's been damaged, hospitals have been damaged, supplies of food and water and fuel running low, looting, as we've seen in the shops. And these are not criminals, these are just ordinary families who are getting more and more desperate. The government is sending aid, but it's very slow. There's an international effort getting underway as well. Many parts of Sulawesi Island, though, are very remote, difficult to reach by road at the best of times, never mind when there's been an earthquake and a tsunami. And aid workers are being hampered by mud and the difficult conditions, and as Janice said, a lack of equipment. And even when, of course, they do get there, they've got to be very careful when they sift through the debris.
And of course, this isn't the first earthquake that the region has seen. Indonesia's on a very active seismic belt. It's known as the Ring of Fire. Is there more that the country should be doing to try and manage its response?
Well, of course, this was the same question that was asked after the 2004 earthquake and tsunami, and so you could say, well, what's gone wrong this time? There was a warning system, but it has been criticised now, suggestions it wasn't working properly. The authorities say an alert was sent out. Was it lifted too early in Palu? Text messages were sent. Were they received by people? There's a network of stations and tidal gauges. The nearest one is quite a long way from Palu, though, for instance. There are sirens along the coast, but it said that they weren't working. And in fact, the earthquake put out the power lines, so then the sirens didn't work properly. There are high-tech systems that have been put into place, but it said that they weren't working for different reasons. But you could say also that despite the technology, Indonesia, just the geography, the 17,000 islands, thousands of miles apart. The 2004 tsunami was thousands of kilometers away from where this has happened in Palu. And so you could say it's a poor country, no matter how much money is thrown at technology. Really, it comes down to awareness and education. And there's testimony here that a lot of people simply didn't seem to be aware of what to do when the alert went out, because they were still hanging around in coastal areas and not looking to get to higher ground.